Okay, welcome to the 26th Manix Games live stream. I'm your host CS Cooper, and here we've got Dark Duck, we've got Aquitus and Monkey, and we'll probably have more people joining in. And usually what we've done is I've just sat there and game dev'd while everybody's talked, but I think that actually distracts me from the conversation, which is really interesting. So we're just going to talk. So I'm going to actually just talk with everyone, and we're going to shoot the shit and talk about talk about a couple of different topics. Our first topic is best era for video games. And so I might get the thing talking by saying, "Oh, we've got Papa Frog coming in as well. How's it going, man?" You're a bit grumbly. We can't really hear you too well.
Has your microphone been replaced?
Hello?
There we go.
Wonderful.
Yes. Yeah. So we're talking right now, man, about what's the best era for video games.
Yes.
That
And-
question, it's actually pretty obvious, because it has to be like the early 2000s, late 1990s, right?
Well,
That's what I was thinking.
There's just so many amazing, iconic games
Yep.
released during
Yeah.
those times.
Well, for me, the best one, that was, at least we're talking PC games, I would have to say the one that was probably one of the best was the original Homeworld.
Ooh.
Which,
Is that the one where you kind of have to fight off an alien invasion?
No, it's basically the Book of Exodus as a sci-fi RTS.
Oh, interesting.
And so,
I missed out on a PC during that era.
yeah, well, I've got the original Homeworld, and I play it like once every couple of years, like replay it all the time. I fucking love this game. But yeah, you start off just at, so it turns out that the story of the game is your people, the Kushan people are trapped on this desert world, and they find out that that's not their original homeworld, and they have a spacecraft left to them by their ancestors that they reverse engineer, build a massive mothership, and then through 16 stages, you've got to strategize and get the resources, build a massive starfleet, and get back to your homeworld. And yeah, the original homeworld is just great, right? Because it's
The
good,
original
proper.
Homeworld was released 1999, which is the same era I was just talking about.
Yeah, that's why I thought about it. 'Cause you thought, yeah, early 90s, early 2000s. That's for me the best one, because the thing is, they did a sort of a spin-off sequel called Cataclysm, where you're basically fighting an alien creature that's the Thing meets the Borg, right? So it subverts your ships, absorbs the crew, and takes control of the ships. And but the reason I bring that one up is they fixed a lot of issues with the original Homeworld engine, but every single game they've made since then has just been shit, right? Because the Homeworld remake is unplayable. Homeworld 2 I didn't really enjoy very much at all, and Homeworld 3 was so buggy it was unplayable. I stopped trying to play it halfway through because it was just kept crashing all the time. So look at that. But the first Homeworld, the best. So yeah, good call saying late 90s, early 2000s, man. But what was that? What was the best era? What game was good for you in that era?
Well, it's not game, it's games. So pretty much every game that I can think of from that era. It was there was the Warcraft games, there was the Starcraft. That was the golden age of Blizzard, to say the least. In addition, there was games like Total War were going nuts during that time. There was various console games that were being released and becoming iconic. It is just, in many ways, I feel like that was the golden age of gaming, where you just every game you think of that was great probably came from that era.
I don't think you're wrong, yeah. Like Halo 1 was 2001.
Yeah.
I could not
Both
play
of the
Halo.
Dungeon Keepers came from that era as well.
I'm serious. I can't play Halo. Like, I can't play
Yeah, it was
FPS
like
games
the
unless it's with a
Peak
mouse.
of the console wars with like.
Halo. I was a little bitch back then, I swear. The second we got to the Flood, specifically, Halo
it
2.
was spooky. Yeah, it was nightmare fuel. With the soundtrack. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
All the Spyro games were
Okay.
released then too.
I haven't played Spyro. I really should. I really.
Yeah, that was a great
my
game.
childhood, man. Like one of the earliest games I can remember was Spyro.
Did you guys ever play? When we talking consoles though, so did you guys ever play Banjo-Kazooie?
Oh, yes.
No,
I
but I
did
have
not.
seen it.
I
and
love
think
that
I
game.
remember as a child thinking, "That game is apparently really hard. Why would I play it?"
Oh,
Uh,
I can clear that game 100% in like 6.5 hours, and like, it's really good. It had the kind of similar feeling to like I imagine Spyro the Dragon probably feels kind of similar, but I tried. Like, the problem was now in the era where people from that good era. Oh, Goji Ops just joined. Hang on, give
hello.
me a
Good to
sec.
have you.
He's just joined server. He hasn't joined the
Oh, that's right.
thing. Yeah, give me a sec. Add role. Let him say. And that should let him into the. That should enable. Hey Goji, join the game dev meeting. Did that just have a Kirby sound effect in there? Did that music just have a Kirby sound effect?
I think I might have.
Oh yeah, there it does. So, the problem is, currently we're in the era, because saying Banjo-Kazooie also made me think of Ukulele, where the original developers of Banjo-Kazooie got together, did a Kickstarter campaign that was very successful, funded a game like Ukulele, but the problem was, Ukulele was garbage.
I never played
No.
it. I really loved Banjo, but for some reason that just did not appeal to me. The ukulele.
Yeah, Goji, we're talking best era for video games. Right now we're talking about consoles, and we're comparing how, because Ukulele is just one example where like a great game dev team from the era we thought of was the best one, which is the late 90s, early 2000s. Well, game dev teams from that time get together and try to remake or do a spiritual successor to their game, and the game turned out to be shit. So,
I can almost hear you.
oh, you can hear you.
It's a bit loud.
I can almost hear you.
Oh, you need me to turn up my volume?
No,
Everything okay?
Seems fine on my end. I think you might need to turn up Cooper on yours.
Hang on, let me turn up the gain on my mic.
no,
I'm hearing a lot of music.
It's the music.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Hang on, let me
I
see.
had
If
the
I can...
right
same
click and
issue
turn the
a
music
couple
down.
weeks back. I had to like really turn down the music on my end. I don't know if there's a
Me, I
way
just
to like
right-click Cloudy
turn it
and
down
mute button.
for everyone.
There we go. I
Poor
just
fella.
turned.
Yeah.
Doing his best.
Better. Yeah. So, yeah.
Is someone playing the music? Where's it
Yeah.
coming from?
It's
It's-
under cloudy. If you click on cloudy and turn the user volume down, that helps
Yep.
me.
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
So, what other
Wait.
examples do we have of games like that? My number 9.
No, I didn't. I'm familiar with like the reception though.
Well, I think because I watched a video, I've never actually played Mighty Number 9, but I watched the video and it turns out like they basically, I think they got overconfident with the Kickstarter campaign because they set up a Kickstarter campaign and then got everything they wanted, right?
Yeah.
They got the money they wanted, but then they thought, okay, yeah, we'll add some more stretch goals, add some more stretch goals, add some more stretch goals, add some more stretch goals,
Ooh.
and it's just like, why are you wasting time on shit we don't want? Just make a Mega Man game.
Yeah. It's part of the flaws of that whole Kickstarter system.
Yeah, I
They
think,
keep
and
adding more shit that really isn't important to the core concept, but they feel like, oh, we can get more money this way, so
but I think Kickstarter might also be a bit to blame there because I know this from experience. What a lot of these companies tend to do is they will hound you and say, oh, maybe add this goal and this goal and this goal, and you might be able to get even more money. And so, especially if you've been able to run a very successful Kickstarter campaign that gets a lot of money, Kickstarter will focus on you, or at least if I was running the company, if I was running marketing, they would focus on you to get you to produce as many stretch goals as possible so that Kickstarter gets a higher cut.
yeah.
I did not realize it was Kickstarter that had a hand in that. I figured it was almost always the company itself, just like getting their eyes getting bigger than their stomachs.
Oh yeah, it's definitely that. It's definitely that.
It was also
it was-
kind of like uncharted territory where like it was kind of like a roadmap that wasn't well established yet. Now I think companies have kind of like got it a little under control where it's like, okay, we can't promise too much. Like everywhere I've seen that has said like avoid these mistakes has always said like avoid physical merch. Like it was something that
Yeah.
was over promised back in the day, but like people really underestimate like how much that bogged things down and like
Yeah,
how much was
Logistics
over promised, and then they thought it would be simple, but it turns out to be like a logistic nightmare.
Oh god, that was something that I never really considered right up until I saw the Kickstarter companies like trying to go for it. I gotta be honest.
yeah.
I think it was just like nobody knew logistics.
Yeah.
I
was
remember
someone's
Mighty
birthday.
Number 9. Wasn't that the one that got really controversial because they kept making fun of their fans while they were working on their stuff?
Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
I think so. I think I heard that's another thing. And I don't understand why you would do that. Why would you abuse your fans? Right? Like, because I always think to myself, like, if my books went really well and became really, really popular, I'd never really do
When?
that.
Should ask Kathleen Kennedy that. Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, that's another example, except not in video games, but in movies. But yeah, it's, I think probably one of the reasons we think that was the best era is that, well, you know how Dan Tubb on the Lotus Eaters, he says the 90s were the best decade because it was peak boomer participation, right? in the workforce. Well, yeah, we're going on a decline because we've got, well, the boomers, they're old and out of touch, but they're also kind of like, you don't have terribly good developers going up, or the very good developers, they don't want to go into the industry, they want to go into it for themselves. And so they don't get into the industry, and so they're not, and so the good, smart people who would be able to contribute really good things are, they're just building their own stuff, and they're building good stuff. Like, you should see some of Goji's stuff on Itch.io. That he does really good stuff. We're doing really good stuff here with going viral, and hopefully with our next project. But yeah, do you think? Because the late 90s, to me, the late 90s and early 2000s, they were like during with Nintendo 64, that was really good for Nintendo. You had GameCube. GameCube came up. That was Nintendo as well. But Xbox, when did that come out? When did Xbox come out?
Around the same time as GameCube. They were like direct competitors, basically. And then you also had a PlayStation 2 in that era. And to me, that like really defined things. Like that console war between the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 was just like incredible.
Well, you don't know what's hilarious, right? Nintendo
was not in that game.
Yeah.
It was the
sorry, what was
Xbox and the PlayStation.
The thing is, you want to know what's hilarious, right? By the end, like during the late 90s, Nintendo was the king, right? But the problem was they created their own monsters because they teamed up with Sony to develop a CD-ROM drive for the Nintendo 64, but then PlayStation had done all of this research, all of this development, and then Nintendo told them to take a jump because no, we're sticking with cartridges, and so Sony just turned around, took their research, and made the PlayStation, and then Nintendo had teamed up with Microsoft to build the GameCube, but then told Microsoft to take a jump because they were going to do their own thing, and then so Microsoft took their own stuff and made the Xbox. And so Nintendo built its own monsters.
Absolutely. And as someone who never cared about the console war because I owned all of them, I just got to reap the benefits of all the great games. So.
From what I remember from the console wars, it was mainly seen as an Xbox versus PlayStation thing. Normally they excluded.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't say so, but just looking back, like I think so many iconic games came out during that time, and a lot of them, like the still relevant ones, were on the GameCube. Like people are still playing Smash Bros. Melee tournaments like to this day.
Yeah, the GameCube was
Smash Brothers.
Well, that's something I'm tempted to get a GameCube again just to play the original Metroid series. Metroid Prime series.
You get a
you
GameCube,
had
you
like
play Eternal
Metroid
Darkness.
Prime. Eternal Darkness. I love that game.
What was that, Goji?
I said you get a GameCube, you play Eternal Darkness.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that game. It got me into Lovecraft.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you like some Lovecraftian mythos, that is a game that takes it to a meta level, and saying anything else will spoil it.
Okay.
I was so disappointed when Shadows of the Eternal fell through. I was like on their forums talking to the development team, like doing like concept art for that project, and because of like Kotaku and shit, like they just crashed the reputation because of some internal politics with Silicon Knights back in the day. They were working on like a Marvel game, and it was like right around the time when Disney was buying the property, and they weren't allowed to talk about it. So there was like all this like drama and speculation in the company, but it really had nothing to do with like what the magazines were reporting. It was just like internal politics with Disney, and it completely ruined the reputation of that company, and they went under.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's a very sad state of affairs because I really liked that studio.
So, what was the studio called?
Silicon Knights with Dennis Dyack and
Say it again.
I forget some of the other guys. Silicon Knights.
Silicon Knights.
They all. Yeah, they
What
also
games
did
did
the
they make
remake.
that people would remember?
Eternal Darkness is the most memorable to me, but they also did like the Twin Snakes, the Metal Gear Solid remaster for the GameCube. They
What's that?
did.
Oh,
I
they
think
did
it was
Too
called.
Human.
Yeah, Too Human. I was gonna say Beyond Human for some reason, but Too Human. They did like a lot of, I think, X-Men games.
Yeah,
I
X-Men.
remember it.
Is this the fighting game? Because if so, that one was amazing. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a shame that kind of drama baiting journalists ruined that company.
I big up Eternal. Eternal Darkness, but I couldn't have told you who produced it. So yeah, they gone without a trace.
Yeah, to this day, Eternal Darkness is one of the most like unique like games. Period. Like it was such a weird horror game where it tried to like mess with your head. There was like
Yeah,
a
Was
sanity
that the
meter.
one that actually exploited
The meta mind
was the
screw.
technology at the time for computers?
Yeah,
And
you'd have
people
like
these days might look
hallucinations
back-
where like your game would delete its save file and
Hey.
stuff like
Well,
that.
But people
Apparently-
these days might look back on it
Overlord.
as being like, it's been done before, but it was the one that did it first.
Yeah.
So apparently Nintendo
Um,
patented something out of Sanity's Darkness, the sanity meter system. They actually patented it. So now I'm interested to find out what the patent actually was. Because
Video game patents are bullshit. Call of Cthulhu did that long
Yeah.
time before.
yeah, I know. I used to examine patents for a living, so I'm a trained patent examiner, and so it's just interesting to see because method of tracking symbols using a handheld input device coupled to a computer. Oh god.
Take your hand off it, mate. Not you, the writer of that bullshit. Oh wait.
'Cause I don't think this would be a manner of manufacture. I don't think this would be patentable.
Well. Good
Yeah,
luck
it's
fighting them in
weird
court.
how like they get away with some of those patents. So,
Yeah, like
They're still doing it now.
oh
yeah.
They outspend you.
yeah, basically that they hound you until you can't until you. They'll hound things. They'll hound the patent office. They'll hound the thing. Like if they've got lots and lots of money, they can just keep the process going on and on and on. But Jesus, like Silicon Knights, they fell apart because they sued the Epic Games for allegedly screwing around the Unreal Engine. So they lost the countersuit and they went bankrupt. Jesus.
Oh, I never even heard of that side of the story.
Oh god. But yeah, no, but the game looks okay.
moral of the- The moral of the story is throw all lawyers into a volcano.
What do you call it?
Yeah.
What do you call a bunch of lawyers tied up to weights at the bottom of the ocean?
A good start.
Yep. But I would be interested to actually find this patent for a sanity meter so that I could see, because one of the things about a patent is that they have to say how your invention works and what it does, right?
Yeah.
And that would be really good because, you just go ahead and implement it, right? Because
Run
2005.
run by a judge who has no idea how to fucking set the clock on his VCR.
Yeah.
But the point is, right? Unless they've renewed the patent, it's 2026. They filed it in 2005, which means their period of protection would be long up, which means you could implement it in your own games.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how no one's kind of taken up that mantle, because there are a lot of like fans of Eternal Darkness, and I would suspect like some indie studio would try to kind of take advantage of that.
Are there no modern games that use sanity meters or something equivalent?
I'm sure
thereof?
there are.
I'm sure there are, but the point is you can see how they did it and you can implement it and improve on it, rather than trying to make your own from scratch.
What about Outlast? I suppose it's not really a meter. But
I mean, the
that one-
mechanic itself was pretty simple, and by today's standards, it might even seem a little outdated.
Yeah, I remember
It
playing
wa- it was
games where
essentially-
they had something they called a sanity meter, but it was more of an HP bar.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was like an HP bar that like would tick down anytime a monster would see you, and depending on like the percentage of the bar, different like horror effects would happen in the game that weren't necessarily even real. Like you would see enemies that weren't actually there.
Oh,
And you wouldn't
Don't Starve.
know
Don't
if they
Starve
were-
has a sanity meter.
Yeah.
Oh, well. No, because the reason I'm thinking find that patent and see how the other games did it is because I'm working on a concept for the next game we're going to do, an RPG, where the cursed character and like her curse influences the gameplay in certain ways. So I wanted to see how other games actually implemented that. But anyway,
Oh yeah.
so I think we're probably in agreement. Late 90s, early 2000s was the best era, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
If I
so,
could
yeah.
speak a little bit more about it, I would appreciate that.
My
I just wanted to,
personal
like-
favorite would just be like, was it closer to 2010? But that's just because that's when I was personally getting into gaming a lot more.
Oh,
And I
Yeah.
had like was it the cream of the crop to pick from, though I didn't know it at the time. Like, I remember running across a copy of Dead Space, the first one, as like a little kid, and thinking, "Wow, this is terrifying. I shouldn't have this."
well,
And my answer is what I said to Cooper earlier. The best era of games is the one that hit the sweet spot when you were growing up.
yeah, that's usually it. 'Cause for me, it was the late 90s with the Nintendo 64, but also the SNES because it's got Mega Man X on it. Mega Man X on the SNES, best game ever. But maybe we'll move on to something.
I love that one.
Yeah, maybe we'll move on to something that I don't.
Can I just say a couple more things?
Okay.
Because I don't think we touched on them.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can touch on them.
Oh, I just want to say like the original Xbox like LAN parties were a thing because
Oh.
it was right at that time. Yeah, it was right at that time, like before online gaming came, and like there wasn't any inbuilt lag because of like netcode rollback and stuff like that. So like things like Smash Bros. Melee and stuff, like they're still being played today, and like that feeling that like really like skill-based fighting, in my opinion, like hasn't even come close in like the era of online games.
Yeah.
Like when you play a game from that era that like didn't have to worry about like netcode and stuff like that.
There was still little
but
things
also
here and there, but yeah, for example, controller position would sometimes determine who wins in certain scenarios.
Screen watching.
Okay.
Strange things
Oh,
like
screen watching, yeah, that was.
I
another
remember
thing,
like
too.
me and my friends, we would be lugging around our Xboxes during school lunch because we like met like a teacher that really liked Halo, and so we'd have like TVs and Xbox like wheeled into this one guy's like room, and it was just a really incredible time. And also handheld
great.
games were kind of like very unique back then, whereas like now it's just
They're in
the
everyone's
same
pocket.
games you're playing on your PC in a portable mode.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So,
But-
I think that
was that,
was
Okay.
like a
that
really.
the SP? That era, was that the Game Boy SP?
Sorry, what?
The Game Boy Advance SP,
yeah,
that's around 2000, 2003. GBASP.
Yeah.
But-
And even like early DS, I would consider like some of that. But
Okay.
yeah, it was just a really magical era for gaming.
Well, here's to LAN parties. So, we're going to move on. Now, this is something I don't know very much about. The Highguard Fallout.
I have no idea what those words mean.
Yeah, the Highguard is
That might be the
listed
problem.
at least online, mostly seen as essentially a spiritual successor to Concord, which is to say
Yeah.
a massive game.
Yeah. AAA company tracing or following a trend that they can't keep up with because they're monolithic and slow, and
Ew.
so it was predictable and everyone saw it coming, but they were already committed and no one was surprised.
Yeah, people, like a couple of guys were explaining to me before we started that it was basically these guys that pretty much a sync game. They're just trying to pack every single cool and info feature into a game all at once, and it just became unplayable.
They put a bunch of mechanics into the game, but didn't think about why any of those mechanics worked. So in their original game. So because of which they ended up with a 3v3 on a giant map where you had all kinds of things that you needed to do in that map, and then ultimately you just fight it out. And there were people that would end up not playing the entire game and never seen another ally or enemy, and then the match would end.
Wow.
Oh wow.
So what exactly were they working towards that whole time? Well, nothing. They were just wasting their time.
They say 3v3, but there's only three.
Oh.
It's MEH.
Yeah.
So weird that they wouldn't correct that through playtesting. I don't know how that blunder slipped through.
That's what I do
Yeah, there
wonder.
was
Do
another thing I saw
devs
where
have
people
play
were
testing these
queuing up
days?
for the game,
No.
and then it would look like they got
I
the
wonder
game,
that
and then they'd be kicked out into the queue for the game again. Because they're
Playtesters exist to tell the people who are paying them what they want to hear.
Ah, great. It's gone to that point now.
I would imagine
I
that,
forgot what the playtester was.
I'm looking at this and it's really there's all these that this thing that's one of the things, like going back to the previous topic, one of the things that I don't like about this era, I don't like the way games look. I just died. These games, the way this thing
Whole
looks, I can
bunch of
see it's.
money
I think
pissed up the wall.
it's technically it's visually appealing. Like I can see it there. And it's technically impressive, the graphics and everything. But I just don't like it. It doesn't look like a game that I would want to play. Right? That's why
Yeah.
I've been playing all the old Nintendo 64 games. Now maybe it's just me. Oh, I'm old. Okay, sure, yeah. And you should see my graying hair. You should see my graying hair. My mother-in-law says it's gotten even grayer since I got married. But
Perfect Dark was perfect.
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. But my point is, I just don't like the look of this game. I don't like the look of. I wouldn't really want to play it. So I just imagine like I'd be really bored doing this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, from just
Like
like
it-
stills like what I'm currently looking at of just a gun and a bunch of bells. I mean, yeah, that looks fine. But once you actually see the character, and once you like use the weird pulls out his claws and attacks a wall ability, you just go, what's the point of all this?
Yeah.
Like I said, MEH energy. The whole thing's just meh.
Meh. Yeah.
I remember when that Highguard was announced and the trailer dropped, the immediate response was like people saw the main character's hair and was like, "Yeah, I'm not playing that."
It makes
What
me
was the main-
sad.
Okay, hang on. Highguard main character.
So what was it? It had. I don't even know how to
It
describe
was just like over generic, like following trends, like what a council would imagine people would want, sort of vibe to it. You know,
Designed
like
by
a committee
community.
determined this was the right haircut to use for this time, and like I don't know if that's how everybody felt about it, but that's how I felt when I saw the character.
Okay, so
Corporate slop.
yes, because
Yeah.
I'm looking at all Highguard characters and abilities. Okay, so there's a dude here with blonde hair with dark roots. Okay, he just looks like he goes to a hairdresser. The dude on the left like has one of those really ugly hairdos where he's like low at the top, but short crew cut on the sides. They're all.
I think that's the one I saw.
It just doesn't look like. It doesn't look like. I mean, hang on. I'll show you the concept art for. I got ChatGPT to generate some concept art for me. For the game that I'm working on next. Come on, load up. God, you're slow.
The only real compliment I can give the all Highguard characters image I see right now is that at least they do look better than Concord. That's a
Yeah.
little
Oh,
far,
yeah.
but it does at least look like a net improvement.
Okay,
Honestly,
And low bar.
so I just
However, Concord was more memorable because of that too.
Fair enough. Yes, there was definitely a memorability to it.
yeah. So I've just got my characters like looking normal, right? So I don't understand. Like even just passing in the streets, right? I see people with these hairstyles that just look revolting, and I'm like, why would you
Yeah.
spend money on that? Why do you think that's cool? For Christ's
It's,
sake, just
You're
revert
old. And you don't understand the youth, mate.
the masculine characters are like
I do understand.
doing feminine like hairstyle type of things where it's like back in my day, like not giving a shit about your hair was the cool thing to do as like a man. You know?
Like, look, they
And now
are
it's
not
like all
giving a
these
shit about their
characters-
hair. That's the problem.
Well, like to me, like when I see these like modern like masculine characters, it looks like they come out of the hairdresser and like, you know, I don't know, care about makeup and shit like that. I was
Oh,
like, I don't know.
fuck off.
It's like Max. It's
Yeah.
the fucking Mouse Utopia experiment is what we're living in.
Well, one thing I do have to say, like, the industry definitely has a problem with trends. And by that I mean it follows its own... Like, whatever trend pops up, it's going to go from studio to studio to studio. And everybody's just going to copy it. Like, what the hell is it? League of Legends.
Corporation sees something
They
like
have
Word.
a Wakanda character. I don't know his name or his lore, but he's literally just there to be the Wakanda character. And he's got the Killmonger haircut. And I've got some friends. They're black. They hate the Killmonger haircut because it looks so goofy.
Yeah.
But if you guys remember, for like that stretch of time a year ago, that was like 2 years where every black character just had that side-shaped head with the was it everyone tried to look like Echo for some reason.
It's also like in that Spider-Man, the animated Spider-Man movie where Gwen Stacy, she's got perfectly nice hair, but then after the supper, she shaves it really short on one side. I'm like, why do you think that's cool? Why do you think that's nice? It doesn't. It's not nice. Stop it. Stop uglifying yourself.
Everyone else is doing it,
fuck off.
Cooper. That's why.
Shoving a kid up your ass, seriously. I'm sick of that. Oh, it's cute. Everybody else is doing it.
That does go on to the main problem with the industry, where we do have a huge lack of creativity, which is why, despite Highguard itself having a granted different art style than most of the like Overwatch slop, still very much can't find that little something to make its characters memorable.
Yeah, I would actually argue that we don't have a problem with creativity. We have a problem with selecting creativity based on what fits current trends, what fits the message. So
yeah, that would be a more accurate statement there. Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome creativity out there. It's just buried behind garbage.
It's like, I don't know if you remember
has shown that the creativity still finds a way to manifest in the market. So if anything, it's just we lack creativity on the AAA side, not necessarily in the entirety of the industry.
But also like what I said before, the creativity, like really creative, really skilled people like us, we go and do our own thing because we don't really care to get into the industry because the industry has become so it's so rigid and fixed. Right, I remember, like, this is a related thing, but when I applied for a job at Google, I actually got an interview at Google, but what they expected is not the ability to code and solve problems. What they wanted was the ability to regurgitate algorithms.
Yeah.
And that's what the industry is after. Instead, they want just something, please just regurgitate this thing that makes money, this thing that makes money, this thing that makes money, because the chart says, and I think that's what we're getting at.
It's corporate thinking, it's everything must be safe, must be able to be labeled, must be able to put into a box that fit the demographics and align with that, and no one will dare say you're fucking sticking.
Yeah, which
it's not going to work.
But that's something that's quite interesting, because we going to Nintendo, a lot of their stuff, like the original Legend of Zelda, Mario, all of these games, they've actually come out of Nintendo's R&D department, right? So they'll have a bunch of guys just trying to think up shit and explore and investigate, right? So that's when they actually do their best work, when they've got a bunch of different guys doing their own thing. Like, for example, doing in Super Mario World, right, where Super Mario World, where Mario finishes a level and then the path to the next one reveals itself. Hardware on the SNES couldn't actually do transparency like that. It couldn't do phase like that. Somebody had to go in and develop, like, really mind the limits of the hardware they were working on to do that kind of effect. And it was probably someone's passion project to do that, and he integrated it into the game. So if you've got people like that, but the problem is, especially in this economy, I'd say especially people in America, they're very risk averse. They just want everything on rails. They want development on rails, and they just want to have the recipe given to them so they can just churn out the shit instead of doing actual, like this, like Google. They just want someone to regurgitate algorithms, not research. So.
It kind of goes back into that
to be
topic
fair,
we've discussed before, where like limitation breeds creativity.
Oh yeah.
Now we don't really have limitations, and so like every game in like the market board or whatever has to be this like the last game you will ever need to play type of mentality. So they throw everything at it, and then like you have this bloated mess that nobody wants to play.
Yeah, what were you about to say, Gochi?
I was going to say, you do have limitations if you don't have an infinite budget, and so you've got to work within what can I do realistically. And I'll also take this moment to say, this sounds a lot like Simpsons the cartoon. The original stuff was made by people who weren't writing Simpsons cartoons. They were, but they were drawing on other things. They were taking outside influences and making new stuff, and it was great. And then you get the new ones writing, and they grew up with the Simpsons, and they're just making what their idea of Simpsons is over and over again, which is slop.
Yeah, so it's basically an example of the phenomenon that Tim Pool talks about, where they start Twitter, everybody uses Twitter, and then the creators of Twitter, they just spend all their time on Twitter absorbing the fire hose of refuse, and then they just spout that out. It's the same kind of thing. But there's also technical limitations that are also important, because, like I was just saying with the SNES, they had to mine its limits to create cool effects. Whereas these days we've got bloody supercomputers by comparison to do all this stuff, and so you don't really care about memory leaks. You don't care about, and that was something that I'm realizing was trying to develop with working on this new game. It's something that I noticed while working on going viral, is how easily you can stuff up the engine by having cyclic references. And like, if you're not careful, and I was not careful doing a lot of going viral development because I was trying to get it done, you do end up making mistakes that cost you later on. You need to go and sift through mountains of code to fix it, because you're spoiled for all of this hardware capabilities, computer capabilities that you don't need. Yeah. There's lots you don't need to worry about anymore when you should, or no, you feel like you don't need to worry about it when you should.
And this is why I develop on shit computers.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably the advantage I've got, because like I keep saying, my computer's 16 years old going on. My computer's really old.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. If you can make it work on an old potato piece of shit, then you're good. If you're running a fucking 4K screen, big 30, 60 fucking meg RAM, blah blah blah, bullshit. People who do that are people who make upgrades to or updates to software and don't stop to think about, it works for me, so no, you should dev on a piece of shit computer and make it work there.
That should be the tagline for our group. Menix Games. We develop on potatoes.
Honestly, pretty good philosophy. I do think it might have changed recently, the music industry. I know used to have this philosophy as well, just because you get a bunch of different audiophiles who'd buy the best headphones, get the clearest quality. However, if you wanted to be a musician that could sell a lot of tracks, you're gonna have to listen to your music on like regular bargain bin headphones, just so you know what the average person is gonna listen to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Nothing like listening to your music come out of a speaker of a shitty mobile phone.
now, I don't know how many of you have, on the topic of optimization, played Helldivers. It's not very optimized. It is something that can make even my computer start heating up, purely based on just the raw number of units on the screen. Like, whatever optimization that should have been done hasn't been done on that game, and it does show.
I saw some explanations about that based around, we give you this big, 100 gig thing to make sure that when it loads, it can load in very fast because it's all there just sequentially. And that's great if you've got a machine with the space and the hardware for that. But then, there are the people who are like, well, no, I don't have the space for that. I don't have the space to have the same data replicated 4 times. What about us?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Technology has gotten much better, much better, and unfortunately, it does mean that, especially given the way dev cycles apparently work, spending time for optimization, I don't know if it's prioritized much these days. Given I base this on the physical size of the games that come out these days, and I don't think it's all textures. I don't think it's all textures. Just they don't know how to optimize anymore. Just because you're on a deadline. You need to get this out right now. Go.
Yeah, my background's in corporate business, and it's like, make it work, cool. Now, can I optimize it? Nope, we don't have the budget for that. It works, good. Move on.
Yeah.
Well, there's also the mentality of like, okay, we released the game, we'll fix it later, because you can fix it later.
Yeah,
Whereas before you had to have the game working like optimally at launch.
Which is why the 90s was great, because you couldn't get away with that bullshit.
Yeah, you couldn't have the we'll fix it in post thing. Like that's what they talk about in film areas is, it's okay, we'll fix it in post. Post-production. But check this out. I was just reading through a couple of other video games that screwed up on launch. Star Wars Hunters. Okay. So it launched. So first it launched in June 2024 for iOS, Android, and Nintendo Switch. But yeah, it was a good game. It was perfectly fine. It was very nice and playable and enjoyable. But it wasn't a good idea because most players waited for the eventual PC release. So initial player counts were below expectations, and the PC release never launched.
Wow.
That's rough.
So you can also screw up with bad marketing or bad release planning as well, because like I'd say with these guys, they made the assumption that everybody's playing on mobile at the moment, so we'll still have it. No, you've clearly still got a large market of people who prefer just to play their games on PC.
Wait,
you all
guys
have
don't
mobiles,
phones?
right?
Yeah.
Well, lots of people don't
Doesn't
like
mean I
playing
can-
games on their phones.
Yeah.
I remember I tried getting into mobile gaming on, admittedly, a really bad phone, and I experienced that thing turning into like a hot brick almost immediately.
Yeah, the extent of me playing video games on mobile phones is either those puzzle games or an emulator playing old Game Boy games. But yeah, there's also
I really like the tactile feel of buttons, so like the phone is just like an immediate turn off. If it's like not a card game, like I can justify playing a card game on a phone, but basically everything else I'm like, no thank you.
There are certain games that work from phones. Angry Birds, sure, whatever. But if you want to play a platformer or something,
Oh,
it's like, wait,
yeah,
where
get
do I?
stuck.
What do I? Yeah, yeah, no.
Yeah, you can't. There's certain games you cannot play with a virtual touchscreen, like a virtual input pad, because you need that haptic feedback to know where the buttons are. So you're not constantly looking down at the controller to find it. Right. I once tried a touch, like sort of a touchscreen keyboard, and I kept having to look down to see where the button was because I couldn't touch type. So.
Yeah.
Like that's why I say, yeah, the Star Trek world where they're tapping pads. No, that's never going to be viable.
Yeah.
You're going to need to have haptic feedback, and they're not going to be able to do it.
Like, it's nice. It's a nice idea when you're working on an office and you're trying to be fancy. But the second you got to deal with any sort of, personally, do you remember that trend where every car wanted all of its dashboard to be in a touch screen?
Shut up.
Yeah, I told, like, my family needed to get a new car. And I told them, I don't care what you get, no touch screens.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's just, something's going to break, and we can't use the whole dashboard at that point.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why I refuse to buy a Tesla. Aside from the fact that one short circuit and my house goes up in smoke.
Give me an 8-track or die.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so it seems like you've got to, when it comes to, you don't want to screw up your game, you don't want to build a kitchen sink game, you don't want to have like bloody free to play microtransactions or any shit like that. You want to make sure that you launch your game in the correct proper order. Make sure that your game has a clear goal and you're not trying to please everyone and end up pleasing nobody. And
So
yeah,
there's a discussion. We've all discussed how all these things suck.
mm,
The positive takeaway is, how do we make something that doesn't suck?
Well, I do want to correct one thing, namely when you mentioned the microtransactions, I think that's more specifically when that's in a game you've already purchased. If you're in a game where it was free, I think microtransactions can work. It's just you need to be careful with it. Like, don't make it a pay-to-win game.
Let's not talk about my gacha addiction, please.
Yeah, gacha games are very successful for a reason.
Am I too old to say nickel and diming? It's like, nickel here, dime there.
no, I understand that.
Oh, we get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You pay $100 for a game. I mean, this is Australian bucks, so it's like 60 American bucks.
yeah,
But you pay a premium price for a game, and it's like, oh, and would you like to pay extra to skip these parts? And that's all bullshit. It's like your game should be one and done, standalone. Any add-ons, maybe a soundtrack, maybe some cosmetics, but if any game has, and then you can pay this to skip parts of the game.
no.
Do you remember how Guild Wars was kind of that pay once and play forever?
Hell yeah!
That was really good.
I love me some Guild Wars.
Yeah. Like, Guild Wars 2 is vastly different, which is kind of a shame because I love Guild Wars 2, but I haven't played Guild Wars 1. I mean, the other way around. Loved Guild Wars 1, haven't played enough Guild Wars 2. Like, it seems good, but that model coming out in the age of World of Warcraft was really good. We should encourage that kind of thing, I think.
Yeah, no, I never played any subscription MMORPG, Morpig, whatever you call them, but I played Guild Wars because you pay once and then you play. That's how games should be. You pay once and then you play.
Yeah. Well, we'll end this on that note. Just say, yeah, my dad accidentally once bought for me. He thought it was a standalone game, but it turns out it was online. It was an online game that you had to keep paying a subscription for, and he threatened to sue the company that sold it to him. He was so pissed off by it. He hated that idea, and so do I. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. And I wanted to
software as a service. Software as a service.
Software as a service just sucks in general. Okay, so moving on to video game development education. And there's so there was a video I watched that I really need to try and find, which is why you can't get a job as a game dev. And I thought I had it, but
is it not in the chat somewhere?
It is. Hang on. Game dev chat or research?
Well, while he's looking that up, perhaps people can share how they came into game dev.
Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
No, I'm asking the question of the how.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh
Yeah,
god.
go.
So it all started back when I was a wee lad. No, kidding. Honestly, I would say Mass Effect 2. That was it for me. It was a game that they had a bunch of weird-looking aliens, and for some reason, they managed to make them charismatic, likable, actual companions you could enjoy spending time with, and pick
Just
whichever
don't
character
say
you
anything
want.
bad about Miranda.
Look, I know people don't like the bitch. I respect that. Okay? I clearly have a problem. I liked it. I didn't like Jack. Not
Yeah,
sorry.
Jack-
Who?
Like,
Oh, right,
Exactly.
the tattoo bitch. Right.
yeah.
Oh god. I've heard the arguments for the pro jackers. I know. I get it. Not for me.
I've got the action figure of one, not the other. Moving on.
Makes sense. But yeah, honestly, I just thought it was kind of, I don't want to say inspirational, but it was just like something that kind of clicked. Like, you can make these. Like, if you just sit down and like look at someone, you could probably figure out how to sculpt them. And I think that was the beginning of it for me. I went to university for a bit of game dev. It was the artsy side of it, not the actual programming side. So huge bottleneck there. I should have learned to program, but yeah, essentially graduated there and couldn't get a job in the games industry. Just freelanced it since there. So my information does stop after university.
Do you software of choice? ZBrush, Blender.
I should use Blender. I should. I know. It's so convenient.
Oh no,
would have to learn.
no one
Fire
should use Blender. Blender has a UX ripped out of Satan's asshole.
Oh god.
Are you ripped out of Satan's asshole?
See, I'm sure Blender's very nice. Some of the best sculptors and animators I've seen these days use Blender.
Okay. Wink twice if
However-
someone has a gun to your head.
I'm never gonna touch Blender, man. I gotta be real with you. I tried. I just can't. I learned Maya. I'm gonna keep using Maya. If I have to learn Blender, I'll learn Blender.
Yeah,
Sculpt and ZBrush.
basically
Now and forever.
I have Blender just for really small things, like if I download something out of what's it called? If I download something out of Mixamo and I need to tweak the animation very slightly, I'll try and use Blender, but it's very, very fiddly and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Blender's UX is arse.
Yeah. that's really how complicated it is. But the thing though, I wanted to do game dev since I was a child, since I was really, really, really little, and a family friend taught me C++, and that's how I got into coding in the first place, because I wanted to make my own games. But pretty much everything I know about game dev is entirely self-taught. I never did any official game dev education or anything like that. So there's probably a lot of really simple stuff that I overlook. Like,
But you can't. Self-taught means proving the ability to solve problems without any external reference.
yeah,
No YouTubes, no docs even, and that's the shit that matters, because that means you can get shit done in the worst case scenario.
yeah,
But how are you going to know your pronouns if a professor does not tell you what your pronouns are?
well,
It just doesn't
but
come
there's something, I don't know if I'll play the entire video. I'm just going to see if I can find the transcript what it's talking about, that talks about my point. The production skills nobody taught you.
Oh, that video, yes. Oh, God. I need to actually take that advice to heart, because my portfolio only at best has like wireframes and panoramas around the model itself.
Yeah.
I don't actually show the different parts of it, because for context, my model, my pipeline is very similar to the Japanese physical model making, and then the doll makers, where they have like different heads for like different emotions or whatever. Because I was trying to figure out how I want this to have more faces. How do I do this? So make another head, forehead.
You were swapping the models out instead of doing blend shapes.
Do you do like morph targets or?
Yeah,
no, it's even more ghetto. It literally is just I have a separate mesh for each individual expression that I just hide and unhide, because I've never had to animate before. When I have to, it's gonna hurt me in ways I was not expecting. But for now,
I'm just gonna say at a certain level, the basic brutal approach gets shit done, and it works. And if it works, it works.
Yeah. So I think this is the thing that's important. Yeah, I'm just going to play this part of the video.
That rarely get taught. Modular kit design. Trim sheet workflows. Reuse first thinking. Scale consistency across assets. Collision that actually works. Clean pivots and grid alignment. Naming conventions.
Nope, that's not.
Version control awareness.
Playing for us, but
Building fast, not perfect. Matching an existing art style. Notice something? None of that is glamour.
No idea.
But that is 80% of the job.
Where to get it?
Watch video.
oh yeah, the video is on the live stream.
Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, I think that wasn't quite what I was looking for, but basically, and this was touching on what we were talking about earlier, was like, once again, like I'm willing to bet a lot of us, even the artists, are all self-taught to an extent.
Essentially,
yeah, and so, but what we need, and this is something that I've noticed when I've been trying to build back, like when I was working on the slasher sandbox, building up the level was really, really hard. It took a lot of time because I had to the game assets I had downloaded, they were really good, but I had to build the bloody collision objects for them and everything and get them working properly. And it takes time, and a lot of these developers, especially, once again, we're in this economy, they're working on that. They've got lots of money, but they're working to really, really really stringent deadlines and things like that. So they want somebody who can come in and they don't have train them in the workflow. And
But also,
or if they do, or if they do train them, then they don't want to have to pay them after they use their man hours. That's what happened to my fiance's brother. Is he's like, he goes through this whole apprenticeship, learning how to code and do all sorts of production stuff, and then what was it? Literally a week before he becomes qualified and gets the job, he gets dropped from the apprenticeship. Yeah, it's like I hear about that a lot, which is kind of gross.
Yeah.
And regarding the collision stuff, it's like those companies can pay a whole bunch of people to just spend their time putting them boxes into place, and that is a luxury. I've heard people say we. I'm not going to say we. That's a luxury independent people do not have. We need to be fast and efficient.
Why don't they create?
We have to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Why don't they create a new job position that's just minimum wage program? I can assure you, if they threw that out there, they would have enormous amounts of signups.
Yep.
And that way they can afford the training process.
Yeah.
Just by paying them minimum wage.
The question comes in: can you pitch that to the higher ups? Like, okay, this is a position that we're not going to get it's not going to be a 100% guaranteed outcome of a good product, a good employee. Do we want to spend resources on this? And most of the time, the company says no.
You can get away with cheap artists, cheap texture painters, cheap QA, cheap anything. But if you go cheap code,
yeah.
The idea is that you would bring them in as minimum wage under a programmer, and then he would essentially be able to handle mass training, and then you can pick the good ones from amongst them to become more permanent programmers. The rest you can just dump. You can dump if you don't want them.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, that would work, and that's legit what I thought would happen after university. Like, you go to the games fairs, you get your portfolio critiqued, and then you hope a company takes you under their wing.
It's the EA
no company
part.
can afford that.
Get a bunch of young people who don't know their value and exploit them, and then shit them out.
Well, it's not necessarily exploitative. You're essentially giving them an opportunity to train and possibly get a more serious job. But if you don't,
Keywords, possibly.
Yeah, and that possibly part is still a boon to the people even when you fire them, because they can still put that on their resume and apply somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, you know what I found when I left after getting the master's, I was just like, well, I've done a year's worth of full-time coding stuff, great. And then I was just like, now let's get a job. And it's like, requires 3 years of experience for this base level.
That
and I was
pisses me off.
Level position requiring 5 years of experience. I run into it.
I was like, where am I supposed to get this 5 years of experience for the base level? Well, I suppose if you do have a no qualifications required coder role, at least there you can get a job.
Can't get a job if you don't have experience. Can't get experience if you don't have a job.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Well, basically, even when I was still in uni, the way I would see it, count your uni work as experience, right? If you say, oh, we need somebody with at least 3 years of experience in C++, I say, well, I just did 3 years worth of C++ in uni. That's 3 years worth of experience. Give me the fucking job.
In theory.
Yep. Well, I suppose what screwed me on that aspect is because I cross-trained into coding from arts. Or from psychology, I guess. So, yeah, it was a... So I was like, I got 1 year of coding.
How does this code make you feel?
God. I do think the
I've gotten
reality of
relatively
the
lucky when it comes to getting businesses early on and managing to get an experienced portfolio. Like I have about 3 to 4 years experience under my belt, and I apply to hundreds of places and get practically no responses.
Yep.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up. I believe a lot of us in the university courses did do that. We did say, yeah, we've been on this course for 3 years, learning our craft, learning how to texture, how to animate, how to model. We all put that on. Only like I've checked the LinkedIn's for basically all my classmates I could find. Very few of them actually are in the games industry in any capacity. Like I'm assuming the rest just went back to their day jobs before university.
Oh, yeah. Everyone from my master's group basically became a teacher immediately.
Sounds about right.
I was like, I'm literally the only one trying to make it in the creative industries here.
Yeah, it's one of
I
the
didn't want to say circle jerk, but
what?
Jerk me.
no.
There is the threat of it being a circle jerk. Like I am aware.
Yeah.
It's annoying to deal with because I do admit that there is a lot I could do to improve. Like there is certain art styles that are more of a mix of realism than stylization versus my one, which is heavily stylized.
Mhm.
And if I wanted to, I probably should move over to that aspect, just because they look better. They just look better. I don't know what texture map they're using, how big it is, but it works. It works very well.
I remember when I was still thinking about like maybe joining, you know, a AAA studio or something like that. Like all the stuff I should be doing for a portfolio just kind of killed my incentive for even like wanting to do art in the first place. And especially all the self-promotion that seemed to be like really important as well. Like I am not a self-promoter at all.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
And like especially like I took a few classes, and every class I took that was like more like here's how to get into the industry, this is what you should be learning. It really rubbed me the wrong way, like with like the feminist frequency stuff. Yeah, like, oh, this is how you need to develop games, and you can't be mean to women, and like, you have to put yellow paint on everything.
Well, the thing is,
this isn't what I want.
The thing is with that, there's a lot of what would you say, you like right place at the right time kind of thing. For example, right, when I first published my book, Final Flight of the Renegade, right, cscooper.com.au, shameless plug. But when I first published that, right, I would just go to bookstores and I would just ask them, do you stock independent authors? And most of them said no. Most of them said no. You've got to get up like QED. QBD? Sorry, it's a bookshop chain in Australia, right? They said no. We only stock from a list of published authors. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, fair enough. But like, for example, Harry Hardhog, that's it's a chain of bookstores, but they've got pretty independent. Each store is pretty independent. So I walked straight into one near where I lived, and the guy there was really nice. He took one look at my book and said, "Sounds great. I'll take 12 copies. I'll put them on the front table right up front. Do you have any posters and promotional material?" I said, "Yep, here it is." They put it up for me, and he even said about a book signing just straight away, right? And yeah, really, really nice. And then I went and did the book signings, and I would sell, because I would stand up and I would reach out to people. I would invite people over to talk, and I sold all the stock they had, plus extra stock that I brought with me to the signings. Right? If you guys could see me at conventions and markets, I really, really sell. But then, and that meant like there was some this guy would tell corporate, this guy sells books really, really well, and so corporate got my book, people got my book in other Harry Hartog outlets. But here's the problem: those other outlets were not run by nice guys; they were run by women who to put all the LGBT stuff up front. And so when I would go and offer them book signings, they basically said, "Oh no, we don't have plans for book signings," even though they had a big placard out the front saying, "These authors are coming for book signings soon. Come and see these authors at these times." Right? But then later on, that nearby the outlet that was near my house, where that really nice guy was, sorry, that changed management to a woman who took my book, put it way up in the back corner, and put all the LGBT stuff out the front again. And so, but yeah, that's just an example. Quite often you need to be at the right place at the right time, and you need to meet most likely a guy who likes you.
You know what?
Well, how does that translate
in that way? Like, women are definitely more susceptible to social pressures. But, I mean, they're hard coded that way.
It's kind of like with networking in the video game industry. You need to be lucky enough to meet somebody who's good, who sees your potential, and is willing to take you under their wing. But if we've got and I think it's been a pretty common thread of topics, is like in the current state we're in a state where the industry is managed by people who are very risk averse and don't want to they don't want to take risks. They just want everything on rails. They just want a recipe that they can put this in equal money. And so you don't have any of the innovators, you don't have any of the dreamers anymore, and those dreamers aren't in management, and they're not willing to take people under their wing.
Yeah. Then fuck that
the problem here
industry.
is I
Fuck
can't
their
even find
ideas.
those rails.
Yeah, Goji? Yeah, fuck their ideas.
Okay. Fuck that industry. Fuck their ideas. That's the old way of thinking. We're in current year where you have social media, the YouTubes, I'm not on the socials. You're the other socials, but there are ways to build a grassroots campaign where what you do is say, "I hear you, audience out there. You're sick of that bullshit. I'm making something integral and honest, and here it is." And I've also got some mates who are also on the same line, so check them out too. And you don't try for that AAA fucking $1 million sale bullshit. You start out just trying to cover the bills, and then you build up and build up. You build like grassroots. You build the audience slowly, and on people who you find the people that resonate with what you are about and what you are selling, and that is the only thing that only thing, absolute terms, that is the thing that is most likely going to serve you well. You've got to I hear people talking about trying to get into AAA companies and stuff and getting rebuffed. It's like, you've got skills, you've got values. They're not your chances of getting. It's like, going for the Google interview. Your chances of getting in are fuck all.
Yeah.
Fuck the corporations. You need to find like-minded people, work together, make something honest, intrinsic, and build up from that. Okay.
I think that's what we're trying to do here.
If I might, I think that, well, actually, yeah, on those lines, I think that the multimedia approach is one of the key things. So, like, a lot of poets who I seen be successful are ones who have a booming Instagram
Oh
where
god.
they post, like they post like visual. So they're getting into they're cross channeling different skills to promote their main skill, if that makes sense. So, and then the other thing, I think,
Oh,
we so like if we can't get pushed by the big companies, then what smaller ones have to do is band together to promote each other, and then you have
Yeah.
sort of a, what would you call it,
And- find someone who knows how to work them socials that the kids
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so then like you end up with, like those streamer groups where it's like, oh, I'm gonna send all my viewers over to this guy, like what is it,
It's a raid.
Hermitcraft or something? That
On
kind of
Twitch,
thing.
it's a raid. Like, my streams ended by sending all my followers over to you.
oh yeah, we should try that.
Pretty much. So like small creators promoting each other, I think that might be the way forward. If everyone is basically their own PR agent, like cross-channel skills to get stuff out there in like an engaging way that people like, and then teaming up with each other as well, I think is the way.
Yeah, well, that's what we're doing here. So maybe I might start seeing if there's any job fairs for game devs anywhere nearby, and see if we can we can round up guys like that and just say we're just making our own stuff, and we're going to try and promote each other. Sound good? Sound good. But yeah, we're going on about an hour and a half, so I think we can probably start.
Fairs,
Yeah.
job fairs. What comes out of that? No, you gotta build your own shit.
Yeah. Well, you got to start
There's,
somewhere, though.
You don't
What are-
ask
what are
for
those-
permission. You make your space.
Yeah.
Those game jam things. It's pretty much a game job fair. in a
Yeah.
way.
I haven't had time.
Oh,
I haven't had time to do a game jam, but I really want to at some point. Like,
Yeah.
Game jams are great. It
Yeah.
puts a boot on your neck and it makes you get something out,
yeah,
and it forces you to stop thinking and do, and then you have another thing for your portfolio that shows anyone asking, this is what I can do, but more importantly, it shows you this is what I did, and that is what matters.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll do a game jam at some point.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. But I think we'll wrap it up there because it's 8 o'clock where I am, almost 8 o'clock. So thanks everyone for joining. This has actually been a really, really good stream, and we talked a lot of good stuff. And Koji, thanks for showing up, and thanks for giving me that advice from like last night and making sure that this went really well. I'm really pleased. What do you guys feel?
I am
Yeah,
glad the
great
king
stream.
Yeah.
returned. Yeah, oh, that was fun. Enjoy.
Yeah, and for